My name is Jaden DeWoos, and this is my third speech I've recorded. So, Demi Lovato. People either love her or hate her, and she seems to always be in the news, whether it be for something good or something bad. I don't particularly like her because she has such a heavy influence on society, but she seems to use it so negatively, and I'll go into detail later on. She is relevant, and this topic is relevant because she's always in the news being brought up and quoted, and I disagree with a lot of her statements, which falls into the refutation. My main points are going to be her thoughts on gender reveal parties, sugar-free or low-fat froyo, and her problems with sobriety. So starting with gender reveal parties are when soon-to-be parents have a get-together and do something fun to find out the gender of their baby. For example, popping a balloon and having pink or blue confetti come out once it's been popped is a very popular gender reveal. She claimed that when parents have gender reveal parties, they are transphobic. Transphobia is hating transgenders. Many people argued that you were born with a gender, so no, it is not transphobic. While others said that parents should allow their children to pick their gender and have that free range of gender identity. I very much accept people for who they are, but science is science. You are either born a boy or a girl. You don't get to pick your gender. Now, if you're an adult and want to dress as a woman when you're biologically male, then that's on you. But no child should be wrapped up in this gender-confused era that we're in. So, essentially, I don't think that people under the age of 18 should switch genders or switch gender identities or be wrapped up in being confused about their gender. A lot of people think that it's all mental, and while I do agree, I do think that to a point, children are children, and until you turn 18, you really don't need to be making these life-changing decisions, because I just think right now it's just a huge trend, transgenders and gender identity confusion and all of that. I think it's just a trend. We see it a lot in the news and on Facebook and Instagram and all social media platforms, and we see it with our favorite celebrities. One of them being Bruce Jenner, who was an amazing athlete who then decided to want to change into a woman and be known as Caitlyn Jenner. So we see it in the news all the time, and I think that a lot of people might feel like they are gender confused, but really just be confused as to what's happening in society. So next is the sugar-free, low-fat frozen yogurt. So she went into a frozen yogurt shop called Big Chill, which they offer sugar-free yogurt, gluten-free yogurt, low-fat yogurt. Basically, they cater towards people's dietary needs and restrictions while also having normal sugary yogurt. So Demi claimed that this was triggering and that they are spreading a harmful message. For example, eating disorders. Big Chill reached out and explained that they want everyone to be able to enjoy their yogurt, so they cater to everyone. So in the news article that I read, they literally said that they want to cater to everyone. They want everyone to be inclusive and be able to eat there no matter their restrictions. And we see a lot of people nowadays getting all of these weird allergies and these weird diet trends and all of that. And I think it's pretty cool that they are catering towards all of the new trends and all of the new allergies. And it's not triggering. It's just not. She needs to understand, and other people as well need to understand that people like you and I are different. This person's different from this person. We're all different, and our bodies are different, so we need to take in different things, and that needs to be talked about way more. So I personally think that her saying that their low-fat, sugar-free yogurt is triggering, I think that's a stretch. It's not triggering. It's not. So, like I said, nowadays people gain allergies and food restrictions, and I think more restaurants and food places need to be open-minded like Big Chill and have these different types of things. Demi Lovato claims she's all about inclusivity and that we all need to be united and we all need to love one another and understand each other. But since this isn't on her terms, it's wrong. And since she struggled with an eating disorder, she thinks that anyone who reads this is gonna come up with an eating disorder, and that's just not how it works. Again, it's a mental thing. So lastly, for anyone who knows Demi, knows that she does struggle with her sobriety. She's overdosed multiple times, along with being Narcaned. She has an alcohol addiction and an opioid addiction. She claims to be a sobriety advocate, but she kind of glamorizes it. Like I said, she's open about her overdosing, being Narcan, and going through rehab. Yet the other day on 420, which is a national holiday to which marijuana is celebrated, she claimed to be California sober, which California sober means she stays away from all drugs besides marijuana and alcohol. She was even seen smoking via her post on Instagram. So how can you overdose many times and be so close to death, but think it's okay to do these common drugs? It doesn't make teens stay away from these. Again, she's glamorizing it. She has struggled with her sobriety. She has been on the verge of death. And she just thinks that this is okay. It doesn't make sense to me. And I think as someone who, I'm 21 and she's a 28. But when I was a kid, she was like on Disney Channel and I was like obsessed with her and thought she was like the most beautiful person ever, and I wanted to be just like her. Luckily, I am an adult now, and I have seen that she's not a very responsible adult, and she should not be taken in this, she shouldn't be seen in this way that she is, because she's really confusing these young teenagers and these young kids who idolize her and who have seen her go through rehab and struggle with addiction. And she claims that she's totally fine, and she does all of these interviews like, no, I'm sober, and I take my sobriety seriously, and I'm a year sober, and I'm a year this. And then just 3 days ago, she's California sober. It's a double standard, and to me, I just think it's a little unfair and obnoxious that she is such an influential person right now in 2021. Like, she's come out as bi and gender fluid, and good for her for coming out. And I think that she could use her platform to talk about those types of things rather than being California sober. I just think she's just spreading such negativity all over social media, and she seems to be very problematic in the news with Big Chill and gender reveal parties, and everything's just a stretch. And I honestly just think she's just fishing for that attention when she should be focusing her attention on the real problems, which aren't any of these things. So overall, she's using her platform in such a negative way. Like I said, she should be promoting positive things like getting good educations, working hard for your money, all of the above. Anything that has to do with being successful in life, she should be teaching people, because she is very successful. Instead, she's picking the little problems out of everything, like Big Chill and gender reveals, and then glamorizing drugs and alcohol when she struggled with her own sobriety. Not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying she's wrong, or vice versa, but I feel like she's just spreading drama and negativity when we're already dealing a lot with this pandemic, and that also needs to be addressed for sure. So again, I'm not a fan of her. Don't particularly like her as the way she portrays herself. Her music's great, and I'm sure she is a really good person, but her problems with everything so minute to the bigger problems that are going on in the world, I just can't get down with that. So she needs to just stop using her platform so negatively. And again, it's relevant because she's in the news all the time. I almost positive since last month I've seen 3 news articles about her. That's a decent amount when there's tons of other celebrities who are just as famous. So I've talked about her thoughts on gender reveal parties, the low-fat / sugar-free yogurt, and her sobriety. Those are the 3 main things that I think are the most relevant right now because they just happened. And they're 3 things that I think are relevant in 2021 as a whole. So again, Demi Lovato, you either love her or you hate her. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I think people need to address her wrongdoings before she starts going crazy again.